B. Marshall here, super excited to launch I Am Athlete L.A. We've been working extremely hard to get the crew together, swaggyP, Michael Bennett, KB, Keenan Beasley, Duke, and also Brandon Jennings. I don't know how the hell we got Brandon Jennings. He was somewhere in China, but we found a way to fly him into LA and get him seated on our set. So super excited about this. We're also excited about season 3, bringing back the OGs, Ocho, Fred T, and Channing Crowder and Chef Nancy. But we had an amazing year, and it was because of you guys riding with us. So we want to give you guys 25% off on everything on the website. Type in IAA LA 25 to redeem your 25% off. We just appreciate you guys getting us to the mountaintop, and the only way we're going to stay there is by taking care of y'all. So go to the website, houseofathlete.com, 25% off on everything. Love y'all. Peace. So like we got I Am Athlete, we launched a year and a half ago.
Yeah.
Get sensitive then, man. You know, talk about it. Be emotional, man.
What you feel like anything we need to do before Swaggy take over?
We had I Am Athlete started. We blew up the brand. B, myself, Freddie T, Ocho. We got things going. Now we got the LA crew.
Yes, sir.
Y'all a little different than us with y'all little clothing, you know.
Yes, sir.
With your blonde hair and your Joe Clark outfit, but y'all gonna hold it down though. Y'all gonna hold it down.
Yeah, it looks a little better. Yeah.
It's a little more. It's more aesthetically pleasing.
Man,
You know what I mean?
just a little advice. I'll go first and be whatever you got, but man, be yourselves, man. People fall in love with you. People fall in love with you. The name what y'all did in the past, this a whole different playing field, court, whatever it is. Let them fall in love with you. Y'all be yourselves, y'all talk y'all truth, and that's ain't nobody else out there but you to be. Everybody else take it.
Yeah.
I guess for me, the only thing I would say is, you know, nowadays, you know, we don't need NBC, CBS, ESPN, FS1 to launch our own networks. We don't need a Gucci, a Louis, you know, a Dior to launch our own brands. We in the space right now where, you know, entrepreneurs, we can win no matter who you are. It really disrupts everything that people are doing. So I'm excited, you know what I mean, to be able to sit down with you guys and really take the power back. You know, we don't need anybody to start our own network. So that's what I'm excited about. And KB, you know, you sitting in my seat, bro.
I mean, rightfully so.
All right.
Rightfully so. No,
Respect.
I appreciate it. Hey, we appreciate what you guys have done. You know what I mean? I think we got a lot to talk about, man. We got a lot to cover. We got a lot of perspective. So
Grab the time, baby. Grab the time.
we gonna put a little LA twist on it though. You know, y'all had your time in Florida, but I appreciate y'all if y'all could figure out where you're going, but you can't be here. I don't know where you want to go. Yeah, somewhere. Pick a
I ain't know that quick.
You know what I mean? Get comfortable with one of them.
Y'all boys stay up.
Go through that. Go through that.
LA, city of angels. Try to chain us down, but society can't tame us. Granny told me gotta be safe, but we stay dangerous. You also bought a book and we already burned the pages. Who you really gonna call when it all get crazy? Who you throwing the ball for that new Mercedes? How you gonna risk it all and do a 180? How you gonna catch that Hail Mary pass me fading? You could keep that hate in the backseat. All these rappers running in place so they never catch me. Running for the sprint, but this money be everlasting. And except they capping, they calling me I Am Athlete. Yeah, I Am Athlete.
Man, I'm excited for y'all brothers, man. We got a lot to cover because a lot's been going on. So this is a different mix, man. We got football, we got basketball, we got a lot of swag going on in this one.
A lot of swag. A lot of swag.
But man, things have been getting really interesting lately. So the first thing I want to talk about, I got to go right into Simone Biles. We coming off the Olympics. It's a lot of controversy there. So, Michael, I got to throw it to you, brother. I mean, what's your take?
It's an interesting take because it's like two-sided. One side, there's the athlete side and then there's the human side. I think for me, as an athlete, I feel like the greatest moments are when you triumph over things that normal people couldn't do. Compete. You think about Kobe, you think about Aaron, you think about Brett Favre, his father dying, Michael Jordan having the flu. But then on the human side, it's like you connect to the human, like this person is actually a human being. They have this experience, they're having this feeling, so it doesn't allow them to compete. But as an athlete, it's just there's moments in my life where I felt like everything was overwhelming. You know, I remember I had a situation in Vegas, like, you know, I had a gun put to my head by the police, and I still had to go out there and play. And then, like, I guess as an athlete, that's hard for me to connect, because in some ways it feels like you're quitting, but then in other ways it feels like you're a human and you have something that you just can't really deal with. And I think, so I'm torn between the two. Like, one way I feel for it, then the other side I'm kind of like, I mean, I'm just being honest, you know. I think a lot of times we get into those situations and we want to follow the trend, and, like, you know, mental health is an issue. I think a lot of people are dealing with things, but as an athlete, it just makes it hard for me.
I mean, Brandon, you had a lot of stuff going on, so, you know, you've had some encounters with this. So what's your take?
I mean, I don't see nothing wrong with it.
Yeah.
Like to me personally, like, I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do. So at the end of the day, if it's on this earth, then it's on this earth. Like at the end of the day, like, you know, she's still working hard and she's still doing what she gotta do.
But can she be the GOAT then?
The GOAT? The Olympic star girl?
Absolutely, Simone.
No, I think for me, I think everybody's just, it's trendy to say, but like you said, people are dealing with stuff. But I feel like it was so many people opting out of the Olympics this year because of mental health. And I feel like growing up, that's all we dealt with, trying to make it to where we at. You know, I feel like growing up in the neighborhood I grew up in, every day was mental health for me, but it didn't stop me from doing what I wanted to do in life. I felt like basketball was my safe zone. When I get out there, I forget about everything, so.
You know, I was kind of on the fence about it at first, but now I fuck with it all the way, right? Because anytime people can control their situation, I'm all for it. We all athletes, right? We all had situations to deal with. I'm for it, right? I don't have nothing against it, right? You gotta just remove yourself and remove how you were raised and how you were brought up. Not to mention, right, this is not a disrespectful thing, but we gotta be a little more delicate because she is a woman.
Now you're going, I feel like now you're getting.
Man can't be delicate? I can't have mental health issues and be.
She's a woman first.
So you saying I can't be f***ed up and you can't deal with me delicate because I'm a man?
But we can't treat the situation the same, bro. Because hold on, because like we have to be delicate because she's an athlete. She's the top athlete in the world.
You're trying to get your woman fan base up right now.
No, I don't gotta.
That's gonna go down.
I don't gotta do that. I don't need no more women in my life.
Listen, I think there's the aspect of femininity, but I mean, one thing that we have to take in consideration is there's a safety issue, right? This woman is jumping 30 feet up in the air, twisting. She laying on her neck. Yo, that's a different ball game. It's over.
But isn't that the creed that we all take as an athlete, to go out there and know that there's a possibility that you can die?
So what,
I mean, you go into an NFL game every week, and your wife is looking at you, and she looking at you like, you could come back the same, or you could come back disfigured. And I know people that went into games, broke their neck, broke this, did this, but that's the part of the deal with the devil that you make as an athlete. You know, as an athlete, as a young athlete, if I'm looking up to that just makes it harder because I grew up looking at the Muhammad Ali's. I grew up looking at, you know, the Michael Jordans, the Kobe Bryants, and those people, they always were there at moments that made me feel like I can go beyond the flesh and reach this spiritual moment and tap in for everybody around me, because there's something about looking at your teammate in the middle of the game and knowing that, man, his daddy died, but he's still out here. There's something knowing about he just had a baby, but he's still out here. He's dealing with something, and knowing that they are committed to you at a high level, I think that makes your team, you have a better team when you do that, you know?
But what's too far though? What's too far, right?
My thing is just don't sign up for something that you ain't ready for.
I don't think that's fair though.
That's fair for man and woman. Just don't sign up for something that you're not ready for. Because you already know what it is. You already done looked at everybody from before you, so you already know what it takes. So my thing is just don't sign up for something that you ain't ready for.
He said that's the creed we grew up with, right? But today's creed and yesterday's creed is different, right? We didn't grow up seeing social media. We didn't grow up being exposed to people's lives. You know what I mean? Like, these people are dealing with more pressure than LeBron deal with more pressure than Mike, right? The person that's coming in the future deal with more pressure than we do.
But that's kind of contradicted what you're saying, because at the end of the day, you saying, hey, like, everybody pressures the same. No, if you're saying if everybody's the same, then everybody has the same amount of pressure. Just because they're in the limelight doesn't make his pressure more than mine or less than mine.
We can't treat every situation like the same anymore, right? Like
I was mad at LeBron when he said it was too hot. I was really mad about that. I'm not gonna say I wasn't fucking mad about that. It's hot in Texas, but it's basketball.
But Michael, let's push it though, right? So what's the line on humanity? Because if we take it into a more serious stage, right? So it's one thing for Naomi or Simone to opt out on an event, right, and say that. But now let's push it and take it to Richard Sherman.
I mean, at the same time, I think those are two different things. I think there's two different avenues. There's one in the heat of the moment of sport, and then there's the heat of humanity. That's where the line is drawn, where there's somebody experiencing something outside on the sport where they really want to, they don't know how to deal with it. They don't know the outlet of how to communicate that well. And I think a lot of times as an athlete, people don't know how to communicate well in anything when it comes to vulnerability, when it comes to love, especially as a black man. Like growing up as a black man, you hardly ever see people talking about love or family or a father kissing his son or a father, you know what I'm saying? You don't see that. You grew up seeing like just hardness, you know, a sense of like prison, like the bear. You connect to like, your first thing you connect to is Scarface. Like, I connect to Scarface. Like, you know, many young black men connected to James Baldwin or connected to Theaster Gates.
I think that's just a football thing. I think all y'all kind of crazy. Like y'all got aggressive. So for me, that's not mental. That's borderline crazy. Like y'all, to me, I feel like football players gotta reach into a point where every day you willing to go out there and get hit and y'all hit each other. So I don't know if that mental health. I don't know what to call it.
I don't know. I don't know. All I'm gonna say is I know Richard Sherman. I went to high school with him, 9th and 10th grade. Good kid, good family. You know, he grew up with nothing. So I mean, you know, he has everything in the world, and he had a breakdown. Shit, he finally had a breakdown. Like, imagine how he grew up. I used to see Richard Sherman grow up with like, you know, cut off socks and sandals every day going to school.
I feel like that happens with football players majority of the time.
Why is that a mental thing?
I don't think it's a mental at all. I mean, I don't think it's a mental. I just think he had a breakout.
You really trying to say that basketball players are...
We don't do that type of shit.
Y'all do all types of dumb shit. I see y'all doing dumb shit all the time. Dennis Rodman?
For sure we do.
For
sure we do.
He got hoes. Dennis Rodman did nothing but dress in a dress and got hoes. That's good drugs. He didn't hit nobody. He wasn't going crazy.
But Richard didn't hit nobody. I mean, he just had an outbreak. Like he was just mad at. I mean, like you said, human. Like he just had a moment with his wife or whatever, like he's going through, but he's not a bad person.
Yeah, but what it is that he's so smart. He's so smart, right? And so put together that people are trying to figure out what it is that made him tick like that.
They think he's put together. They think he's put together because of what he does on the field.
People can't fathom the fact that, oh, this dude like it's a loose cannon, right? So people are trying to create this narrative around him and just come up with some kind of you know, it's the reason. But I think it was just mad, bro.
Yeah, he's just mad. I mean, it's 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. He probably was drunk. I mean, we don't really know what was going on. It's 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. Like, we don't know.
But I think that's why there's the question around mental health, though, right? Because you're talking about extremes. If you're willing to lay it all on the line, right on the field, you're in a controlled environment, right? So you can go crazy within that, between those lines. When you get out in regular life, there's real consequences.
I think that's on the person too. I think the idea of dealing with fantasy, like it is an illusion. It's not real. I think a lot of times athletes fall in love with the illusion of people loving them, this feeling of being a god, is following, and then it's all of a sudden, that doesn't mean it's authentic. That's just fake. That's like an actor going onto set and acting and then going home and wanting to be the Joker. Your wife can be like, what the fuck you doing? Like, that was in the movie, like, but you can't take those things off the field. That's on the person. Some people do it because they fall in love with how the admiration comes with that. But most people walk off the field and just go home. I just go home and play with my daughters. Like, I'm not gonna go home and then go home and take the same thing, I leave work at work and home at home. I think that's the line that you gotta have. But a lot of people don't have that line. It's on every person is different. I'm just talking about from my perspective.
I think our football players have that line.
I got that line.
I don't know. I deal with mental health. I feel like I deal with mental health once I got out the league. You know, just putting God on pause, and like once I got out the league, like I figured out like who was really real around me. Like at the end of the day, like I just want love. Like, you know what I'm saying? I grew up in a single parent mother home. Like, you know, my dad committed suicide when I was 8. You know, my mother kind of tried to find her way, you know, through life and try to make the best of me. Like, I don't put like bad things on my mom, but like, you know, she was trying to find her way. She was on her own. So I feel like, you know, once I left the league, like I found out that like a lot of people didn't really like me for who I was. Like they loved me for like what I did and what I could provide for.
Did all those things become reality though? Like when you're in the league, those things you were sheltered from.
No, it don't, because we making a lot of money. We have financial advisors. We have everybody telling us what to do. Boom, boom, boom. This, do this, that. So it's like, you know, you can look at your parents, your friends, and everything, but like, you know, like a lot of your enemies are close to you when you're the one, because everybody has this like this perspective of you, like who you should be, and then when you make it, then it's like, oh shit.
I think too when you think about sports too, I think when you retire, you start to think about your relationship with the sport, and I think a lot of times you realize that the relationship it exploited you in so many different ways. It's just like when you think about basketball, you think about football, like when you were a young kid, like you play good, you get a sandwich. Like you keep like it's you keep chasing the
it's
cheese,
always something,
and it starts to, and you start to realize, man, like was I ever really in love with the sport, or was I more in love with what comes from the sport?
Like you trying to figure out what you're gonna do next after, and I feel that's a mental aspect in it.
Well, there's the transitions, right? And there's the discomfort that comes with transitions, right? Because there's anxiety that comes with that. But let's talk about some of these moments, because, Brandon, you just talked about a real serious moment with your dad committing suicide.
Yeah.
Right at 8 years old. So what's the impact of that?
Just not having the proper guidance.
Yeah.
I'm 31 years old. I'll be 32 in September 23rd, and
damn, that's my birthday.
Like you know, I'm the first.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I'm a Libra. So
yeah, we on the cusp.
I just feel like my whole life I've been trying to just figure it out. Yeah. And you know, I'm not mad and don't feel sorry for me or anything like that. Like, you know, it is what it is. But you know, I wish I did have guidance sometimes. Like, you know what I'm saying? I wish you know, the mistakes I made in my career, why my career was up and down, why I was so like, you know, inconsistent, because I didn't have the background when I went home. Yeah, my freedom was on the court, but when I went home, it was a hell. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because everybody's asking me for this or this and that, or, yo, let me be around BJ because this and that, or I can find some way. It wasn't because of like, you know, who I really was as a person. So, you know, I just, you know, but I'm figuring out. Like, I'm 32, I started my own brand. Like, I'm happy now. Like, I'm done with all that. Nobody knows what I'm making. Like, you know what I'm saying? With a business, like, you know, in a company, it takes a minute. So it's like, you know,
real private.
I have like time of freedom. Like, I've been having I started my brand in 2018. So I have freedom to be able to be who I am now. And I feel like that freedom, and, you know what I'm saying, my girl, like, you know, who I'm with now, like, you know, is just really like taking me to the next level. And that's another thing. Like, we gotta start like, you know, making sure our woman is there for us. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, just outside of what we become, but like, just make sure we care for us. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's why I'm being able to grow so better and become like a better person because of my woman.
I feel like as an athlete, like our relationship with women is kind of like, the way that people show us marriage and the way that people show us relationships, it's like completely unhealthy. You know what I mean? Like when you think about it as a kid, like you think about athletes, you think about all these different things.
For sure.
You look at it, you like, damn, like you can't think of in your own life, and you kind of you're thinking like, dang, how many people I know in my life that got great marriages? And then you start thinking about you get married, you're like, damn, I don't even know how to be a husband. And it's like those challenges to like really do that.
It's all about her foundation. It's all about her foundation.
I seen a good household, and you know, I had my dad. He's been there for me all my life. I had my both parents. I lost my brother, you know, to gang violence when I was around the same age, 10 years old. So I know how that could break up a family, losing somebody, you know. But for me, I think I've been on and off with my girlfriend for 16 years. Yeah. She's seen the worst and the best of me. So I think at this moment, I'm trying to give her everything, give her the world, because she's been there when I was, you know.
See, but I think that's, you know, as we're talking about this, man, that's the humanity piece that I appreciate you guys giving yourself credit to feel, because you guys are also experiencing things that not a lot of people in your circle growing up have experienced. Y'all are living privileged lives. You know what I mean? So there's a transition that comes with that, where who do you turn to? Who do you go to? Because there's one thing, look, your parents been married 40 years?
Yeah.
Was your dad rich?
No. Drove trucks, truck driver.
That's a different relationship then.
Yeah.
Your mom is dealing with a different dude than what you are.
The household wants to stay.
You know what I mean? So
I think sometimes
that's
the flaw too in athletes' lives too, because some people equate money to jumping in line as being the matriarch or the head of the family. Like all of a sudden, just because I'm making money, that doesn't mean that I'm wise. And I think sometimes we misconstrue wealth with wisdom. And I think that's a big flaw in a lot of us, because it's like all of a sudden I'm like, oh, I made 10 million. I know everything. It's like, damn. It's like
It's not even that you know everything, but you can solve all the problems with your money.
Yep.
And I
can't
think
solve it.
that's the perception.
You
though.
can solve fleshly problems.
Just
with
saying,
money.
but
can't
you
solve-
got. That's how most people are wired, though. Most people don't think about, okay, let me see if this guy's intelligent enough or has enough wisdom to lead us. We just saw he got his $10 million check, and all we needed our whole lives, we just felt like we needed money. Now he got it. That's who we going to. I'm just saying.
No, I agree with you,
flawed.
but I think
I know it's
Socrates said,
flawed.
"Know that I know nothing."
I know it's flawed, but that's how it is. You know what I mean?
That's the challenge that you guys are also dealing with, though, right? Is the fact that, and the same thing happens in the entrepreneurial space, right? So it's always funny to me because the outside world doesn't have an understanding of what it is. So you can say that exactly what you just said, meaning, okay, I can still know nothing, right? The money didn't necessarily change anything, but it may have changed everyone then around you.
It does.
In their relationship with you, and now you got to be wise enough to handle that. So how do you handle that? How do you handle the external?
I think it's boundaries. I think it's boundaries and like not allowing people to stunt your growth. You know, one of my mentors is Smithy. He always be telling me like, you know, like you don't want to live horizontal. You want to live vertical. And I think sometimes when you get into the situations where you getting money, you looking sideways and you comparing yourself to everybody else. I gotta have this. I gotta have this. It's like what you said about spirituality. If I'm living vertically, like I'm always looking to God for my answers and not looking for people around me to control my fleshly things and what I need. So I feel like with family, sometimes it's just, you got to be honest and be like, I'm going here. And if you can't see that, then I think that's sometimes as us being in that situation, because we have money, we haven't really became men yet, because a man can say, this is what I'm doing and this is the way that I'm living. But a lot of us, we still children and we still have this money, so we can't make man decisions. You know what I'm saying? Like our wife is literally, sometimes your wife be having the right information and you just be denying that shit because she right. You be like damn, you right, but I'm gonna go do this wrong to know that you right. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, it's like she be back there like looking and taking it, you know, she got that eye like that, he ain't good for you, that ain't good for you. And then you don't, you know, and she be telling you about your own family, right? And you be like, you so caught up in, you know, the past, reminiscent of how your relationship was, and you so hard trying not to say that I changed, but you should change. Like you always constantly evolving as a human being. And sometimes I think that's what we fail. It's like even in a relationship, your wife starts to change and you get mad because she used to wear red lipstick, she wearing blue. She working out and you're like, damn, what are you doing? Nah, but at the end of the day, it's kind of like she evolving like you evolving. So at the end of the day, your relationships with people, they evolve. And if sometimes you got to cut people off because they aren't good for you. You know, they like gangrene. And even Jesus said you got to prune a tree, and you prune the tree to have new growth. And I think sometimes that's where we don't want to do that.
Well, Nick, I mean, I got to go to you now, though. I mean, swaggyP. Look. 16 years off and on.
But to me,
So that's a lot of.
I like who I was. Like I knew I wasn't ready to settle down. I think she knew that, and you know, I wanted to experience everything in my life. I wanted to see it all, and then I had my mom was like somebody that pushed me to do it, like. Because they've been married for so long, said, you better enjoy your life, because marriage, you know, this is, you know, she always say, enjoy being single, because marriage is going to be forever, and, you know, it's hard. So I enjoyed it. I did, the women went out, club, did the Hollywood scene, and, you know,
I seen you at Hollywood hookah. Look. I was over there.
And at the time, that's what I was.
They live like a rock star. Yeah.
I wanted to be a rock star. I looked up to that type of stuff. Like that's me. Like I wasn't trying to not be. I wasn't trying to be something I'm not. I feel like that's who I am.
I also too, like I feel like West Coast is so different from the South. Like I'm so Southern that like it was like that wasn't going through my mind. It was just like, you get this money and get out, you know, type of thing.
That's because
that's how West Coast.
That's because we we see everything.
Like, you know,
we see everything. Everything come here.
Everything's fast.
Like every female come here, so we gonna see them before anybody else see them. And if y'all see them, we already seen them.
But
So
I think in the South it's kind of one of those things where it's kind of like, you know, everybody kind of like. Always, I know people that got married at 16, 17. Like that's kind of how
the
people.
idea of family.
Yeah, the idea of family is like
prevalent,
different.
right?
Like
For sure.
But here it's just fast, youthful.
Hi guys.
I mean, so now we done brought in New York with Chef Alex.
No
Look.
pictures, but we have some Caribbean style oxtail because I know.
Oh hell!
Yeah, you gotta try it.
I'm gonna try it.
So,
And it's that Bed-Stuy. It's that Bed-Stuy oxtail.
so this is some coconut rice and peas. And some oxtail. I know LA doesn't have a lot of Caribbean food, so I wanted to bring some East Coast.
And they don't know how to make greens.
Look, I see the Scotch bonnet pepper though. But
How you gonna disrespect us like that?
But Chef Alex, thank you for coming out. I mean, give us a little bit. What's your story, right? Because
So
I gotta call you Chef Alex. I'm putting you.
I'm owning that
Grand
name.
chef.
So as of 3 months ago, a couple days ago, I quit my job because I worked in marketing for 10 years. But cooking is my passion. I love food. My mom taught me how to cook. I'm not classically trained, and I'm proud of it. So self-taught, and I decided to kind of bet on myself. And I was like, fuck it. Let's see what happens. And so, yeah.
Okay.
We got a couple things going on because we got a lot of high-profile brothers in here that are going through some relationship stuff. What's your take?
I never said that.
I'm not saying that.
Well, no, it is different though.
I'm saying I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm good.
I be going through shit.
I'm good.
My woman still go through.
That's how you know folks is nervous. They over here backpedaling their ass off.
I ain't say that.
Well, we talking about the evolution, right? We talking about the growth.
Okay.
How you feel on that? Did you hear some of this? What was going on?
Listen, I've been in a relationship for not long, 5 years, but listen, okay, it is long.
I can see these oxtails is fire.
Yes, okay. I mean, listen, like, you go through growing pains in your relationship. Like, I heard about therapy. Therapy is amazing. I'm an advocate for it. But you go through growing pains, you know? You have to grow through a relationship. That's what I always say.
You go through therapy if you're not married, though?
Yeah, but I go therapy for myself.
I'm talking about therapy with a person if you're not married. Get married.
This is
Yeah,
therapy
because
right
I'm trying
now.
to get my left hand heavy. So, yeah, you know?
Why wouldn't you though?
I don't know. It just seems like a big commitment to something that you're not sure if y'all gonna be together.
You don't need a contract to grow. You don't need a contract to grow.
I'm saying going like you just met somebody, you going to.
Just met somebody.
Man, come on. Why you gonna go to therapy with somebody you just met?
Just had 5 years, bro.
People get married to people. People get married to people on the internet before they even meet them. You watch 90 Day Marriage? They do that all the time on there.
No, relationship therapy is great. Personal therapy is amazing. So, especially for Black men, you gotta go.
Yeah, I also think you should go to therapy before something's wrong, right?
See?
You should go. You should just go, even if it's good.
I might belittle the therapist.
Hold on.
I might be like, why you?
You don't know.
That's that tough guy.
This is therapy right here.
Who this with me?
Yeah, the guys.
They still go through my phone like I'm still that guy. Like, I'm trying to.
You said you was off and on for 16 years.
But nigga, I'm changed. I ain't in the lead no more. That's I gave it up, baby. I told her, look, baby, if the lead is over, you ain't got nothing to worry about.
I'm that off and on for 16 years, bro. 16?
I'm yours. I'm hers. It's over, baby. I'm yours. I'm dead. I'm a dead fish in the water right there.
I'm dead. I'm washed
For
up.
what? She got it. She won. It's on hers.
Women can forgive, but they never forget.
It's cool. She can do
You said they forgive but never forget.
I mean, like, I feel like somebody do something to you, like, you can forgive them, but sometimes you're not gonna forget the path that they do.
That's just people in general.
Hold on. Chef Alex, I can't let that sit. He says she won. How you feel about that? How that sit in your spirit right there with that statement?
She been around. She won. I gave her the ring. We about to get married.
But like,
I'm about to do whatever it takes to make this woman happy.
Yeah, but
I am a happy married man right now. Well, not happy all the time.
yeah, but happiness is like a personal thing. You have to work at it like every
That shit,
day.
no. Waking up to your kids and her that shit is not happy.
Hey, see, look. Hey, it be stuff like that, though. It be stuff like that. When we hear athletes talk like that, it be like, I don't want to do it.
I love my kids.
I'm just saying, though. But we hear people talking like that, I don't want to do it. We know you talking shit.
Yeah, I know talking shit.
He
Right?
there. He going through. Ain't nobody happy all the time. Chef Alex, I appreciate you so much. But you know, I'm looking for my play too, cause I wanna, I'm bringing back my Brooklyn roots. I need to taste something and see.
Listen, I was stressed.
I will get it to my dog if it's all right.
Okay, but you are eating it. That's
No, it's
good.
really good. It's really good. I ain't gonna lie.
I've seen on Instagram.
Oh my god. All right. Bye guys.
He ain't said.
You got like them dogs look expensive.
Nah, listen, what? Yo, Nick, you just hit you.
Yo, I eat with my hands for everything. For everything. for everything. I do not eat with a fork.
He said, I mean, I don't know if it's Jamaican or Ethiopian, but I mean, he went in there licking fingers, so I mean, I ain't mad at him. I'm just trying, can I get a plate? I want a plate too. I need to see, cause this
Fire.
it ain't passing. I don't know if it's passing the look test.
You ain't swaggyP, dog.
No, first off, Nick was licking his fingers though, and then said she won though. That's what hit me. I said
she won.
That's so casually.
Like Pops, what you got to do? Number one?
he said she got the ring though. You wrong. Nah, but look, we got another interesting one though. Like, look, we talking about COVID, man. We sitting in the middle of the pandemic, so we went from mental health, and there's a lot of things that go that are impacting our safety. We're seeing different folks around the league talking about forcing, mandates on vaccines, etc. This is happening. Y'all brothers vaccinated?
No, sir.
I am.
You vaccinated? Duke?
Nope. Oh.
No comment.
No comment.
I don't want white America in my business,
That's a whole nother topic right on that one. Okay.
I'm not. No, but I'm with it. Like I'm with it if it's,
Why didn't you get it?
You had COVID 5 times already.
Yeah, I had COVID too many times probably, and I'm just not. Yeah, I just be working.
Yeah.
So.
And you got it? Were you early?
No, I got it in May. I got it because I got older parents. My dad's 73, my mom's 60.
I know a lot of people have kids do it too, right? You got kids too. So I
got a 9-week-old, so I was in it early. Yeah, I'm out here getting my ass.
I'm real skeptical, bro. Honestly, I don't really believe nothing that they say you gotta have. You know what I mean? You trying to force this thing on me. I don't believe it, right? I do believe in conspiracy theories, so I do think there's an agenda, right? And I feel
like black people always think it's always
because why would you not think if you black? That's right. That's what
it's always something. You want me to keep going?
This ain't going nowhere. This ain't going nowhere, so it don't matter. This ain't going nowhere.
I'm open there.
Going nowhere.
You're the only black person that came. It's all white people that's
with you talk about Tuskegee. Let's talk about that, right? Because everybody keeps bringing that up. What was the Tuskegee experiment?
Yeah. They gave us syphilis to see if we could.
No, they didn't treat. Brothers had syphilis and they wouldn't treat it. So there's a real misconception when we talk about.
When was this?
Yeah, so the Tuskegee experiment was the fact that people had syphilis and they weren't getting treated. That was the study.
You get syphilis on your own?
So yeah, people was getting because it was running around. That was an actual problem that was happening. Yeah.
Was going raw and getting it, or y'all was just getting it on your own?
Listen, I wasn't there, so don't talk. I wasn't going raw. I wasn't. Nah.
Yo, it don't make y'all think that they're trying to mandate something though. Like it don't make you think.
Well, even if you're not talking about Tuskegee, right? It still as a black person, you have a distrust for the government.
And a distrust within the healthcare system.
All of it, because it's never been fair. It's never been the same. So you can see why black people. You see the John Legend.
But John is like white.
Give me the green light. I'm ready to go.
That's just like when Juvenile did the back that ass up vaccine thing. Yeah. It's like, come on, he killed it.
No, it's corny, right? So the communication is bad.
I feel like they're getting it. Like I said, when I was up there was like, it's not too many of y'all that come in here and get it. That was a white person said that.
That's because we're not educated on nothing though. We're never educated though. We got to give ourselves that. We're not educated on nothing as black people. We just try to go out there, figure it out. The homie in the hood told us this and that. It's like, man, listen, we got to start educating ourselves as black people.
It's not even about being educated because we still got experience though, right? We got experience of trauma.
They give us everything first.
But we're not just going to ignore.
We see everything first.
We can't just ignore education. We can't just say, they're telling us this, let's soak it up, right? We still have trauma. We still got things that, a history of people fucking us over, right? We can't forget that. So how we act moving forward when we hear people say, yo, y'all gotta take this vaccine, right? We're not just gonna jump at that opportunity because even though I didn't live 50 years ago, my tradition and my lineage and my culture, right? I'm aware of that. Yeah. And I'm aware of how they treated our culture for years. So I'm not gonna jump at it.
Ain't going nowhere though. I just feel like we ain't going nowhere. So I just feel like it's a lot of educated black people we just don't listen to.
No, I think if you want to take the vaccine, that's on you. I think there's a need for it. Obviously, there's different variants, there's things that's happening. People want to take the vaccine, that's on them. I don't think it's bad if somebody says, "Oh, I don't want to take it because I don't want to take it." You know what I mean? But we can't judge them if they just feel like their health is going to be bad. I mean,
drink water and take vitamins.
Go raw every day, so they shouldn't be scared of COVID. What? People go raw every day. It's other shit they can get. Why are they scared of COVID? Y'all just go raw on women, but y'all scared to take a shot. That's that kills me. Everybody on Instagram walk around hitting every chick without no condom, but take this vaccine. That. Like, this is crazy.
Nah, that's real.
We're gonna eat these oxtail right now, and we ain't worried about nothing. Look, we can't be out here licking our fingers on this oxtail. But no, I mean, I think
take risks every day.
We gotta unpack it, right? Because I mean, you know, as a group of black men, like a lot of the benefits of and the good things were deprived from us. We didn't get a chance to take part in that. So when you look at the vaccine, and look, I'm not gonna say I'm pro or against. I believe in people to make it the best.
That's all I was saying.
Right. So we can ground it on that level of respect. But when we sit there and think that, hey, they're on this agenda, right? The government is on this agenda. It doesn't make any sense to me, right? When you're sitting there looking at the fact that 25% of the world is vaccinated, 2% are impoverished countries. So you gonna kill off rich people?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Ain't nobody trying to kill off rich people. That shit don't make no sense.
But you're still going by experience too. Like, where'd you grow up at?
I grew up here in LA.
Grew up in LA. So it's like people in the southern places, the Midwest, they just got a different relationship with the government.
Man, vitamins, weed, and water, bro. Vitamins, weed, and water. You see Snoop? Snoop looking good. Snoop and, vitamins, weed, and water, man.
You know, it's AM ATHLETE L.A. So we got to talk about the impact of Kobe. Nick, you played with him. So it's a lot there, but I just want you to be able to talk about it, man, and the impact of Kobe on LA and on you.
For me, Kobe was my favorite player growing up. He was LA. I think you don't think about the Lakers without just saying Kobe. I had the afro growing up, but when I got a chance to play with him, it's like a dream come true, man. I remember I was on a plane when I heard the ask what happened. I couldn't believe it. Then I did what everybody else did, check media, social media, and it was true. And I couldn't get off the plane. Like, stayed on. I ended up flying. I was on the way to New York, going to Complex to do something. I ended up just flying back to LA. Just wanted to be home with the kids and just wanted to, just hold my family, man, because it was crazy. It made me think of some of the times. Kobe did some crazy stuff, like, one game, when we wasn't playing so well and everybody had on Kobe's, at halftime, he told us to take his shoes off. So we're not playing like the Lakers, we're not playing like LA material, so take my shoes off. He took everybody's shoes off individually and just threw them in the trash. I'm like, man, this is Kobe though. So like, I got so many, I'm glad I got a chance to have so many of those memories. And like, I seen him like 2 weeks before everything happened, took a picture with my son and all that, so. Thought that was dope.
Man, Brandon, I mean, you Mr. LA too, man.
Yeah.
You're playing out here.
Yeah.
So the impact is real.
So first time I met Kobe, I tore my Achilles. I tore my Achilles. I was playing in LA. I was in Detroit, and I had my son with me. I was on crutches, and Kobe was asking, like, "Yo, where Brandon at?" Like, asking. And I was just like, "Oh shit, like Kobe, like, and." I just remember talking to him about his transition to, like, trying to figure it out, like when he tore his Achilles, and I had my son with me. I remember Legend was like, he was like maybe like 5 years old, and I just asked him to take a picture, and I didn't know, and he was like, hell yeah, like, and we were just talking about like just life and just how, like, you gotta stay dedicated to what you're doing, and just that moment right there. I painted my driveway. My driveway in my house has 8, 24, and 2 on my driveway when you come up. Just for that moment, and I know what it probably done for my son, and what he done for the game for us in LA. Like, coming to the Drew League, you know what I'm saying, being in the city with the kids. You know, he spent 18 years here, so he's basically is from LA. So, you know, for us, you know, it's a big thing, you know, to see him into the Great Western Forum, to come to the Staples Center and become a champion. It's actually, you know, seeing a kid become a man. And, you know, so, you know, it just means a lot to us, you know, just for, you know, I know everybody touched in LA and everything. So, you know, to me, it means a lot. Like, you know, and I know he does to Nick. I mean, Nick played with him. I never played with him. So, you know, just from that moment, though, it's just like, wow, like, you know, he was, you know, to me, he was just a great person. Like, you know, I don't care.
And I mean, Michael, as a football player, right, you know, we talk about different sports, but his impact was felt everywhere.
But I think for me, the thing that most resonated with me is with Kobe was this like being a father of all daughters. Sometimes it's like a world where everybody like judges your manhood if you have daughters. It's like sometimes when you're an athlete, people don't say like, they like, well, nobody's going to live on with your legacy. Nobody's going to keep your name going. And I feel like with Kobe, like, he made it cool to be a father of daughters. You know, it made it, you know, it's like, you know, nobody, that became a hashtag, but before, like, he was really involved in his daughter's life. You never really see that from male athletes. And I think there's a lot of great men who've done it. You know, Muhammad Ali had, 7 daughters, you know, Malcolm X had 4. So it's a lot of great men that had a lot of great daughters. But for me, that was the thing that resonated with me, was like, damn, like this man, like, it made me feel, I was already happy being a girl dad, but it made it cool when the world was accepting men who had daughters. And I think, not everybody, every time, it's just funny when people used to say that. That's the first thing they say, you got to protect your daughter. I'm like, shit, you met my daughter? She meaner than me. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like, it was cool to see that he made that cool. But I've always loved Kobe and what he stood for as a player. But being a girl dad was the thing that I admire most about him beyond championship, because that's something that we talk about now, is like the fact that he was a great father. And I think as an athlete, that's the biggest award that you can have, because championships come every year. There's a lot of great champions that when you talk about them being fathers, nobody ever talked, oh, my dad was shitty. But it's like with Kobe, first thing people talk about is that he loved his family. And like, to me, that's an honor to know that that's the biggest legacy you can have on the planet, to me.
Yeah, as a city, I think Kobe gave us bragging rights. You know what I'm saying? I think that a lot of times when we talk about sports, we talk about different cities. We say who's the best, and we talk about Boston and this, they won rings. But as a city, Kobe was a guy that said, like, look what we got. You know what I'm saying? Look how many rings we got. Look at the player we got, right? So his work ethic was just incredible, inspirational, right? You guys are basketball players, so it probably hits you guys differently, but just as a football player, it's like, he taught me to not care when no one else thought about you, as long as you're trying to get your goal.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He was gonna go to the extreme, he was gonna go to the max, and he didn't give a fuck about what no one thought about him, right? And he taught me that that's okay, right? Because when you're doing that and you're going through that process, people are always gonna talk about, man, you crazy, you're like, you're doing too much, or it's not gonna work, right? We just block all that stuff off and just keep going, right? He taught me it's okay, right? So he's definitely like LA's hero, He's definitely someone that, represents LA. Even though he's not from LA, he definitely represents LA, right? And we got so much pride in who he is.
LA, city of angels, try to chain us down, but society can't tame us. Granny told me gotta be safe, but we stay dangerous. You also by the book and we already burned the pages. Who you really gonna call when it all get crazy? Who you throwing the ball for that new Mercedes? How you gonna risk it all and do a 180?